to warm up with your guitar every day of 2025 with me here at Jason Carey Guitar. This is a live stream that's specifically designed for you. It's a live stream that's specifically designed for me to be here 5 days a week every morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me check to make sure that that's the right time. Yes, this is the correct time. Thank goodness. So I wanted to welcome you. I'm going to get started. I'm going to get started with tuning here in just a moment, and we'll see what happens. Good morning, Marlon. Good morning. G'day, mate. Good morning, Mr. B, Mr. Beck. You know what? That's a great question. I had a student's dad. A student used to come in. I'm just warming up. Good morning, Kevin. Mr. Haas. I had a student a long time ago where I was teaching in a downtown program. I started a few music programs in my day, and and you know, his father's name was Dan. Good morning, B. And his father's name was Dan, and his name was Sean. He's just a wonderful kid, and let's take a look and see if I can get these comments up over here, okay? And good morning, Mr. Tortorello. Happy morning to you. Happy Monday. And let's see. Oh, here we go. Let's go ahead and I'll get this up and running. That way I can see my friendlies over here. And be back. Good day. So every week, Dan would bring Sean in, and Sean was just a 8 or 10-year-old guitar student, wonderfully smart young man, and he'd say every day I'd see his father Dan. He'd come in and I'd say, Dan, how you doing today? How things go? How are you doing, Dan? And he'd say, better than some and worse than others. And I got thinking about that over the years, and I thought, man, what a great response. He's a truth teller. So here's A440. I will not speak while I'm distributing the tone. This is 5th fret harmonic, natural harmonic on the A string. You bought a tuning fork. Good for you. I hope I may have failed to mention, I have a few that I like to promote, but this one's a good one, and I like to usually have a little more mass. This is a little small for me. A little larger fork will produce a little more volume, obviously, but have the ball end. That way you can put it in your teeth, and that way if you can bite the ball end of it, I know there are jokes to be made, but we're going to just refrain. So that will vibrate your cranium. So if you can do that. Yeah, good. So what you do is you bite the end of it, or you place it on the top of your guitar like so. It gets into your guitar. I have some exercises for strengthening all of the right hand fingers if you're into finger style. Maybe not today, but again later on. Can you start with Thank You by Led Zeppelin, please? Yeah, we're doing well. I hope you guys all had a good weekend. And let's see if we can use Thank You to just confirm that we are indeed in tune. Anybody need the 440 again? Here it is one more time. Play Megadeth and I'll give you a sub. All right, I'll hold you to that. You take a mortal man. I don't know why I haven't done any Megadeth on my channel yet. I definitely should. I usually don't hit the E string until I get done with the rest of the guitar. You will notice that if you're new here, this is a 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time kind of thing. And it's 5 days a week, and we're doing this for the remainder of 2025. I made a commitment to be here, and several others have made commitments to be here. We bring in the guitar, we tune up, we run 60 beats per minute. We're tuning up to standard tuning. Good morning. Did you all have a good weekend? Did you get any guitar playing in? And also, Anthony, thank you for supporting the channel with by purchasing gear through links. Every little bit counts. I have friends who don't count pennies, but I appreciate the pennies. We have a collection of old pennies, and some are worth, you know. But it's these pieces of gear, though. Just I would recommend. I know you know this, but don't bang it on anything metallic, because it will just chip away at the. You don't want to ruin the you don't want to ruin the calibration. We want to maintain the calibration of the 4. That D string has given me a little bit of a run for my money this morning. But we'll be off and running in no time. I forget sometimes. Monday morning always allows me to remind myself to take that breath. Most of us start running around on Monday mornings like, you know, zombies looking for brains, and it's like, nah. I don't say most of us, but many of us could run that risk, and we definitely want to avoid that. Oh, you're running the warm-ups over the weekend. Good. Yeah, right on. In the coming weeks, I'd start working on some 𝗄𝗏, you know, distributing some 𝗄𝗏 sessions. So maybe keep an eye out for those on the channel, and 𝗄𝗏 style passages, if you will, and close to tune. Did you hear that quote, Beck? B. You learned a 𝗄𝗏 lick over the weekend? Is it anywhere I could see it? We're going to talk about your song a little bit later, Anthony. You know, just the Zeppelin stuff is just such a great experience. sounds like we might be ready and in tune. The mountains crumble to the sea, and then there would still be you and me. So there are a lot of approaches. There are many approaches to thank you. And then we can use all of them if you want. And depending on what we have for breakfast that morning, we might play it differently at the gig that night. And it's probably a good idea to let each song that we know and just open up and blossom into something that becomes a sort of a standard, you know, a vehicle for modern expression. And if you guys have not heard yet, I know you probably have, but if it's new to you, if you wanted to re-listen to it, I would highly encourage just checking out. We're getting ready to start out with the warm-ups. I would highly encourage you checking the Herbie Hancock, the new standard album. It's just a monster. It's a monster. It's like listening to that explosive, like Symphony of Destruction punch, you know. You're gonna love it. You know, if you don't love it, I can't guarantee that you're gonna love it because I don't really know. You know, sometimes I love things, sometimes I just don't want to hear it. You know, I'd like to listen to a waterfall. But today we're going to do the standard warm up. We're going to start with eighth notes today, or 2 attacks per beat, if you don't mind. And would you guys let me ask you a question. Would you prefer if we start with 1 attack per beat or 2 attacks per beat today? Just a quick response would be helpful, and that will set our direction and this will set our entire flow for the week. All right, so we're going to take the temperature. 2. Yep. Would you raise the sound of the metronome, please? Okay, it's not loud enough? Okay, here it is. Would it help for you to see the click too? Maybe I'll just put it here, and then you can, let me see if I can arrange this off to the side where you could actually see the click. Here, is that helpful? Yeah, I don't know if I can get that. Let me do a little bit more thinking about it. And then I think I've got the placement good. I think the placement might be correct though. So just go ahead and let me know. 2, we've got 2 going. We're going with 2 attacks per beat. Thank you very much for helping me get started. So this will set the tone for the week, because now we've all pretty much agreed that if we're here playing the guitar, that we're all at a place where we're comfortable with 2 notes, 2 attacks per beat, which is wonderful to hear. 1 E and you know what we're going to do. I'm going to count 4 up front. We've got that fingers 3 and 4, and we're using, you know, if you're new to the game here today, I hope you have a guitar with you, and we're just going to walk through these 3 and 4 on frets 11 and 12, and we're going up the string set and then down the string set, ascending in pitch and descending in pitch. And every time we accomplish the ascension, we switch position. So just check it out. Follow along if you want. This is all about positive growth. 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a 4 E and a, here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 and 2 and 3 and go. And now this is still pretty rapid for some, and it could seem slow for others, but if we dial in our perspectives here, irregardless of tempo, we can make this seem like it's very fast for us, because now what we're trying to do is we're going to use that 4th finger, and then every time we play a note, of course the pick hand stays the same for now. We're only focusing on improving the fretting hand. I'm taking the note, I'm playing the note, and then I'm lifting off, I'm breaking the connection with the fretboard after every, so I'm plucking the note, releasing it, plucking, releasing, plucking, releasing, pluck, release. So you'll hear a break between each tone. And this is just another layer of density so that we can get a little closer to perfect control and perfect freedom on our instrument. Now you can hear if I just let these notes ring. Don't forget to breathe in and out. You can hear the tonal difference and the textural difference. The trick about one of these, a benefit of this kind of exercise where we're not dedicating it to one single string, we can maintain tone and we can shift the attention. Now we're going to shift the attention to the pick hand. And as we ascend from the thickness of string to thinness of string, the tone changes because the mass of the string changes. So the picking hand can influence continuity of tone. So what that means is I want this note to sound the same as all of those E notes found on the guitar. And I can try to compensate, attempt to compensate by brightening up the sound of this tone by getting closer to the bridge, and then getting those down and upstrokes to sound the same. Dynamically, the loudness level, the sound pressure level should be the same. And then if I wanted a fatter sound on the second fret, which is naturally sort of brighter, I could get a little closer to the neck with the fret hand, or the picking hand. Okay, so let's take a look at fingers 2 and 3. 1 and 2, and you know what to do. Break the connection with the frets and provide ourselves with the capability, the capacity to perform shorter tones. Is the metronome loudness good? Just let me know after, during a break if you want. Freebird, yeah. Can you play 𝗕𝗵𝗁𝗧𝗂𝗂? I think so. Oh, bandoleros at Fast and Furious. Yeah, right on. We've got all kinds of things going on here today. I do live streams where I take requests, and this sometimes it deteriorates into that. But I try to keep this organized just for the sake of disclaimer or clarity, so I'm not holding you if you need to go witness someone play a song somewhere else. My intention here is to give all of you a fair and disciplined warm-up sequence, which sometimes I can get way off the deep end and get way out there, and you just gotta, cast the rod out there, cast it and reel me back in. But we are here this morning and every morning from 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for, roughly a half an hour to an hour, depending on what we have to, depending on the workload or the agenda. We're here 5 days a week for the entire 2025. So fingers 1 and 2, and we'll use frets 11 and 12 again. 1 and 2, and you know what to do. Let's start with 11 and 12, and we're going up, we're ascending, and then we're descending, position number 10, and then 9. Mars Volta, wow. Yeah, there you go. Wow, love it. I'm hearing all kinds of things that either A, I haven't heard for a long time, and B, I enjoy listening to every day. It's in my, heavy rotation mix. When we travel, that's what we do. We usually will listen to, the Bible 365 or whatever, really great podcast, or we'll put a playlist on, and I've been listening a lot to Steve Vai's That Hydra album, and it's just so wonderfully recorded and produced. And we're just taking our time this morning, focusing on breath. Breathing pattern is important. I know I can get probably a lot more views if I take requests or whatever, but I just want to get through. I want to get through this warm-up sequence. This is part of a goal system that I've created for my own person for 2025 so that I can achieve my guitar-related goals in a 12-month to 24-month period. And this is what you're witnessing this morning, this slow going, is part of that process of creating a sizable amount of gains over this next several month period. So I would invite you, if you're a guitar player, especially if you're asking for 𝗕𝗿𝗁 stuff, show up here with a guitar in hand and tune in with us, tune up with us. We'll do some breathing exercises while we play. And let's try to multitask. I know that's really not a thing like neuroscience says. We say multitask, but the brain really can't do that. I guess that's the data. But I'm going to try to talk you through the things that I'm working on while we warm up. It's very exciting because if you do this, that's 130 to 150, almost 200 hours a year. We're going to see exactly what kind of gains we can accomplish when we just simply walk through a morning ritual with the guitar. Just a simple act of continuity. Fingers 3 and 4. We're doing the stretch. This is for you, Mr. Haas, all right? And then Marlon, I know you asked for this a lot. You mentioned this yesterday, not maybe Friday, not a lot, but it's worth it for me to just continue to strengthen and fortify that relationship between fingers 3 and 4 and be obedient to the, solving that issue. Fingers 3 and 4 on frets 10 and 12. Same process. 1 and 2 and T and boom, boom. And then if I count 16th notes, it will help my 8th note timing improve because I'll have more subdivisions to rely on. And then so my 8th notes grid will be fortified and strengthened. So I'm working on continuity of tone, shaping of the pick, angling of the pick, both this way and then this way. I'm going to lean forward, lean back, roll forward, roll back, pan, tilt, zoom, all that stuff that we would do with a camera. Play 𝗵𝗫𝗁 song, or you are worse than a garage high school band. I don't think that's a very kind thing to say. I mean, maybe you're trying to be funny. Then something simpler. Did you just? What I'm trying to explain to you, and I'm trying to just explain kindly, that this is a warm-up period. This is just a simple warm-up period, and this is all that's going to happen for today. And if you would like, you can find another spot. We have a membership only live stream where we do take requests and we do learn how to transcribe songs, and we do learn ear training. We do answer questions in real time. But if you wouldn't mind just we'll go ahead and keep these questions related directly to the warm-up at hand. So I would encourage you to grab a guitar and just join us. And if you like, and if you don't like, you know, it's not for everybody. I've already come to that realization that this is not going to be for everyone, and that's okay. So we're okay with that. But it is for those who are here. You know why you're here. I know why I'm here, and I know there are a handful of us who know why we're here, what we're doing. We have guitars in hand, and we're practicing for, you know, the betterment of humanity. I think long term, right? Fingers 2 and 3, same exercise, frets 10 and 12. 1 and 2 and 𝗕 and 𝗵 and. Hey, good morning, Jeremiah. I do appreciate the, I know it's a tough thing because I do appreciate you being here and observing that comment. It's not like I'm looking for gratitude, you know, I'm not shopping for gratitude. I'm not here for that, but I definitely appreciate it when it comes along, and I'm not going to ignore it. And the fact that he was informing while staying consistent on his timing was pretty wild. Yeah, the first time I saw one of my guitar tutors do that, I only have ever had one really that was actually like really skilled in this art, in this craft. Because if you're playing the guitar, you know, guitar players, what do? Here's the thing, that if you've been here for a while, you know what the answer is. And if you're a newcomer, you still know what the answer is. What do guitar players do? Well, we play the guitar. And if we have friends or family around or loved ones, we don't, you know, we might play the guitar, and then it might seem like when they speak to us that we're not listening because we can't, you know, we're focused on practice, we're focused on the thing, right? And then we want to be focused on them because we care deeply about them and love them. So we also, over time, it might be helpful for some of us because we might practice with a strap on in the kitchen while we're cooking the scrambled egg, or a perfect 2-egg omelet in the stainless steel pan. And, you know, the wife, the lady, or whoever it is, the loved one might be speaking with you, and then you might still be able to speak. 1 and 2 while you practice. Let's do fingers 1 and 2 on frets 10 and 12. 1 and 2, and you know what to do. I think it's a valuable skill. Like if you're going to be a guitar player, if you are a guitar player, it might be valuable, and then again it might not be valuable for anyone to know how to speak while they play the guitar and try to set, you know, pat the belly and rub the head, you know, pat the head or whatever and rub the belly. Whatever that complex thing is, it becomes doable if you practice it. Hey, old man, what's going on this morning? I have a friend who's a carpenter, and he's he's in his 50s, building a house, and then, you know, he's got a crew down the road also building a house, and, you know, he's building 3 houses to this one that the crew down the road is building. They're all, you know, mid-20-year-olds. You know, it's just funny how it works. I think you can work hard at what you want to accomplish and remain focused, and regardless of age or experience, accumulated life experience, you can make those sizable changes in your life if you dedicate yourself to it. It's literally that simple. I mean, you look at any entrepreneur or study the entrepreneurial spirit, or the musicians who come before us. What did they do to find their own sound? Yeah, good question. So let's take a look at fingers. We're going to continue with the stretch. We're going to use fingers. This is feeling wonderful for my fret hand this morning, and it's just, how much time does it take to learn the guitar? Well, let's take a look. Let's examine that question here. Okay, fingers 2 and 4. And if you're, do you have a guitar? 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗃. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. But do you have a guitar in your hand? I would encourage you to show up with the guitar in your hand and play along with us. This will expedite. I know it seems like a short, like it's a long road, but the long road is the short road, right? It's a, you know, and I think you understand that. Fingers 2 and 4. Let me just talk about that, but let me get us going on this next exercise. Fingers 2 and 4, but this time instead of using, you know, a normal fret stretch, we'll go ahead and improve that by 1 fret. So frets 9 and 12 with fingers 2 and 4. 1 and 2 and 2 and we'll go same program, running it up and down. And I just realized that we're getting along in the session here, and we're half an hour in. We haven't done any stretching yet, so if you have questions and you would like to drop those questions, now would be a good time. If you're playing along, obviously don't interrupt yourself. But when I stretch, I'll stretch for about 1 minute, and then you can drop your questions there. So the guitar, how long does it take? Yeah, there you go, Elon. I've learned my friend guitar. I have learned my friend. All right. Can you play Elvis on that? Yeah, sure you can. Yeah, fingers 2 and 4. And then when we get down to fret, you know, frets 1 and 4, it gets a little bit stretchy down here, doesn't it? It's the good stuff. Yeah. And then we're going back up to use fingers 1 and 3. Yes, we are. So it depends on what are my goals. If Elon, thank you very much for helping me with that, and I appreciate your kindness there. It can be sort of an asinine answer, but it takes as long as it takes. Depending on the goals, like here's what I would recommend. If you haven't done so, I would recommend taking, you know, writing out 3. Let's do fingers 1 and 3, same thing, frets 9 and 12. Ready? 1 and 2. You know what to do. I might recommend, only because this is what I've done for a long time. If you're a newcomer, or even, you know, every once in a while, reassess my goals. Write out 3 short-term goals, like, for example, where do I see myself in 3 months on the guitar? And this doesn't matter if you're a newcomer to the guitar, you just bought your first guitar, you're contemplating buying your first guitar, you have your first guitar, you're on your 10th guitar and you want to improve something. The short-term goal set is super important, because we can set those 3 goals for a 3-month demarcation, and then we can assess where we are in 3 months. Did we meet those goals? Yes. Should we make more goals? No. Were the goals a little out of reach? You know, a lot of this has to do, how much seat time do we have to spend? You know, you can learn the guitar reasonably well in a couple weeks. You know, just learn, if your goal is to learn a few chords in a 3-month period, learn, you know, a few songs, learn some melodies, learn some a few scales, a few chords, a few songs maybe. Learn a really good warm-up routine. That's critical, I think, early on. Learn to package your time, allocate time to the thing that you want to improve. And then you'll find that 3 months rolls by and you're very successful with what you're doing. Let's go ahead and try fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 now. 1, 2, 3, it'll look like this. I'm going to re-angle my camera so that you can better see that right hand for just a picking hand for just a moment. It's going to look like down, and I'm remaining really close to either side of the string as I pick through. I'm not going through and resting on the next smaller string. You can see. I'm just maintaining full control of tone production, of my speed potential, and all of that stuff. That's all being very carefully calculated as we're walking through this process. And it just gets better and better with time, or worse and worse with time. And we have to go back and iron a wrinkle out of the shirt if we don't focus correctly on the thing. So the thing is really important. So let's start with fingers 1. Practice the thing correctly. 1 and 2, and you know what to do. Yes, I know it's, and then we get up there, we descend. And I know if Raul's watching, he can see my thumb peeking out over the top of the guitar neck. Let me lean back a little bit so he can't see it. But I did watch that Skunk Baxter, that interview with Rick Beato. Anybody else saw that? Where Mr. Baxter, Jeff said, the best book ever written for guitar was Chord Chemistry. And I thought, by Ted Green, I thought, man, that is just so awesome to hear. Yeah, just a well-rounded Joe, you know, quite a well-rounded bloke. And I'm very just working on, it's not about me, but what I'm doing here is very carefully. The observer is the observed. Yes. I love your outlook, Mr. Werner. I love that, man. You're always spot on, square, hitting the nail, square on the head, doing the Daniel LaRusso, driving the nail fully home with one attack. I tried doing that one time with a California framing hammer, a titanium head, you know, one of those $300 jobbies, and I whacked my thumb, and I'll tell you what, I had pain radiating all the way up to my shoulder, and it was lasting pain. It's funny how that pain sort of moves. Part of the thing of the guitar, you know, we don't need to over press on the string set. One of the issues that some of us might run into is fatigue. So if I'm pressing too hard on the string set, then I run the risk of bending the strings out of tune. What I would like to do is play in tune if I can. If that's possible, I would love to play in tune. As in tune as I'm capable, anyway. Okay, this is about to change speed. We're getting ready to change gears. Nothing is something, that's for sure. Do you accept song requests? You know, occasionally I do, and I really appreciate the fact that you're asking about that. Full disclosure, I do need to let you know that this is specifically designed to be a live stream. I'll retitle it so that it is more appropriately titled. But we're here, many of us are here warming up with the guitar in the morning, and we're working on the things that we would like to work on in order to improve ourselves as guitar players, guitarists, guitarra. We're tocar la guitarra. So we have this nice, let's take a look at frets 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, diagonal pattern. And then we switch it up for 1, 2, ascend. and then descend the 1, 2, 3, 4. Slide down one position, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide down one, descend down one position, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then descend one position. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. I'm 20, and my short-term goal is to learn chess and making software. Those are good, solid goals. Probably a little AI in there, I guess, if you were looking to program, and if you're looking at like visual, like C, or if you're doing like the Visual Studio or whatever. I don't know if you're using what you're using for your development environment, but if you're focusing on that, I would say that's a good place to be. What was your short-term goal when you were 20? There you go, Raul. Yep, get up the hill. It was getting up the hill, right? Let's take a look. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. Yeah, I got all excited from that question. The goal of the 20-year-old goal. Get all of the work done that I need to get done in the 20s, and then just get it done, you know, because you're young and we're invincible. At that age is just wonderful. You have so much capacity to do so many wonderful things. But I think my guitar, you know, the goal for me in my 20s was to get really good at the guitar and travel the world, which I did. You know, I had my 21st birthday in the UK as an exchange in a musical exchange program. You know, not sponsored necessarily by the Department of State, but it was you know, a pretty good experience. So 1 and 2 4-middle strings, ready and go. And hat software is the best skill to have. Do it, trust me. I guess, what is it, Python? I mean, Python's a lot use Python. Anybody writing Swift at all? And like, I guess Flutter's, you know, a pretty good one. You know, there's a lot going on there, isn't there? I was working on programming my body and not programming computers in my 20s. But I have done a little computer science work at the university, I guess. Good stuff to have. Agreed. Let's take a look at bottom 4 strings. 1 and 2, and you know what to do. I like that. Nice. Hi, Mr. Poster. How you doing? In the previous life, we used to do that. So we're walking through. I just want to remind everybody that I'm grateful that you're spending any amount of time with me doing this. This can seem totally it could be totally worthwhile, and it can also be totally not worthwhile, depending on, again, what the goal systems are. If you have a goal to become fluent in the language of music or the guitar that you know, like the Lenny Bro or like the like the Keith Jarrett's of the world, you know, where you, or the Charlie Haydens of the world, where you're just able to, you know, you might be playing G major 7, but you also know that there's a whole universe at your disposal, and it's so just heavy. It's just so heavy, you know. So now's a great time for a stretch. I'll just place my guitar down here on my lap, take a quick sip of the, just a quick sip of the mocha pot, the stovetop espresso that we like to brew here in the morning, and go through the stretching sequence. So now would be a great time to, you know, if you had additional questions or comments. If you want to help steer the remainder of this session, we have another 15 minutes left or so before Kevin has to jump. So we want to make sure that we're all jumping at around the same time, because we don't want to create a pattern where all of a sudden we're in the twilight zone and no longer focusing. So if we stop focusing, this is no longer a functional warm-up routine as far as I'm concerned, just for my person. So I want to stretch 15 seconds there, do the reciprocal, the inversion of each stretch for now. And this is all I'm doing is straight arm, you know, forward bend, and equal pressure on each digit, you know, and just a nice stretch. We don't want to tear any tissue or any, maybe turn a little bit, rotate a little bit, and then we'll shift. Anything I do on one arm, I'll be sure to do on both arms. That way we have that sort of cosmic balance that is required for this kind of high level playing. We're developing skills that might not be observable immediately, but we are developing skills that will be observable longitudinally. Oh yes, what's your goal of playing these patterns? That's a fair question. The goal, let me, allow me to elaborate on that. We never did the 3 fingers. It just occurred to me that I skipped over 3 fingers. So I'll go ahead and back and do that. And then I want to be thorough. What if I was only a 3-fingered guitar player? I'd still play the guitar, obviously. I mean, you look at Django and he still played guitar with 2 fingers, you know. So we're going back, I'm going back, and you can join me if you'd like, just to study the latter 3 fingers, 2, 3, and 4, and then fingers 1, 2, and 3. And we'll get those under control and practiced. And then we have some new stuff. We're just going to work through, well, not really new stuff. We're going to work through some arpeggiations. And while I'm doing this, I wanted to note, taking care of a 96-year-old father is demanding. Yeah, what a blessing, like, to get to that critical point in life where all of our time is absorbed, and dedication and devotion. All I can think of, like, I know it might sound like I might sound like a fool, but all I can think of is like John Coltrane's album, 𝗷𝗄 𝗔𝗄𝗵, and that comes to mind. If you haven't heard that yet, maybe it's relatable to you. You know, it's a good one to just listen through start to finish and try to absorb it, you know. But make sure, like we're doing here in the morning, we're making this time, 7:30 a.m., 5 days a week for the rest of 2025. Make the time to listen to the full album. John Coltrane's 𝗷𝗄 𝗔𝗵 is just 𝗷𝗄 𝗔𝗵, 𝗷𝗄 𝗔𝗵. Just really wonderful stuff. Do I know PRS Paul Reed Smith? Paul, I don't know Paul personally. I don't know. Are you talking about the Paul Reed Smith guitars? He's lucky to have you, Kevin. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was trying to say, I think. Yeah, well said, man. Dedicated child. Observant of the father and the son. Yeah, there's just so much going on in that dynamic, isn't there? That's a beautiful thing, man. Yes, sir, an Indonesian called PRS Guitar. Oh, okay. I know that their finish is amazing. I recently bought Gibson Jr. made in USA 92. Yeah, now we're talking shop. Fingers 2 and 3 and 4. Let's just boogie through these. Ready? Bring frets 10, 11, and 12. I'll get us through this, and then we'll jump on to the arpeggiations. 1 and 2, and you know what to do. And 2, 3. One of the goals I hope to achieve is evenness in tone and consistency in delivery. Who asked me this? Like, what is the goal of playing these? Honey Tap. What is your goal of playing those patterns? Well, my goal of playing these patterns is to be noticeably observant of every action. It's to place me, my mind, my spirit, my physical being all on the same map, all pointed in the same direction, even though that direction can change at any time, at any moment, and the map could deteriorate or be gone at any moment. The point is to have that deep connection with the guitar. It could be with anything, any instrument of choice. Slow is fast, slow is clean, and clean is fast, or whatever, you know. Breath is really important. 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗍𝗵, good morning. Are you liking it? The blues is just, do you have any videos with it yet? With that Gibson. I also like the, all right, I'll keep an eye out. Hey, can you let me know, because I can kind of get, life grabs me by the bullhorns. When I'm gone here in the morning, it's just like a blur, and then I'm back. And so this moment right here is my daily observance of what it's like to be with the guitar for the first time. You know, it's like that Madonna song. I want to feel the neck, I want to feel the strings, I want to feel the tension of the strings, I want to feel the resistance of the tension of the string from the strings on the pick as we go through each process. I want to just be more enlightened to what the instrument of the guitar is, and every single time I play this exercise, these simple patterns, it allows me, my mind, to focus on what it is that I am doing. And then, you know, if you wanted to be esoteric about it, not to get too esoteric, but you can basically learn to transcend the guitar or the instrument. And that's the goal, is to leave all of that behind. And I cannot, Miles Davis, you know, was quoted saying something to the effect, you know, when he was asked about how he improvises. And you notice I just started fingers 1 and 2 and 3. So let's do that. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and go. And so Mr. Davis, the late great Miles Davis, was asked about improvisation and how he created something from nothing. And he said, oh no, man, that's, you know, something to this effect, but oh no, man, that's not, you know, it's nursery rhymes, man, it's nursery rhymes. So, you know, he talks about nursery rhymes as being the source for his instrument, you know, his inspiration, his phrasing, his approach to making a note. You know, he is well aware of tones that you're not supposed to play, not supposed to lean on, and he'll use those tones and lean on them anyway, because that's what he means to do. you know, and then, but to play and improvise any passage of anything, I'm only bound by the vocabulary I know. You know, if I know 140 words in the English language, or if I know, you know, 2,000 words in the English language, I have a very different stream of conscious. So what I'm working on is building personally, I'm building vocabulary, I'm building the nomenclature upon which to build this edifice of musical language on the guitar. So anytime we get to a place where we can have a musical thought, my goal is to have the, you know, Gordon talks about multiple intelligences. I hope to have several of those intelligences aligned so that I can communicate or translate those universal musical thoughts into a noise, a joyful noise on the guitar in real time, and as close to what I can perceive as real time, you know, be right here in the now, you know, or whatever, you know, everyone, we all call it something different, but the now is super important, you know. I think this exercise puts me there. Is it monotonous? Could I be spending, you know, my time doing something better? Should I go see a new thing? You know, why would I climb Tuckerman's Ravine in Mount Washington in New Hampshire if I'm an Everest climber? You know, I don't know. Is it a schoolhouse? It's a schoolhouse. It's patrolled by the United States Ski Patrol and Forest Service. So it's wild, but it's not really wild, right? So we're just working on just getting there. That's what we're doing. We're carrying gear into base camp. We're loading it in. Then we want to ascend and just take it somewhere new. And, you know, if we're lucky, we can be like the Mr. Kurt Rosenwinkels of the guitar world, the next step up for the instrument. The way that, you know, you never know. Or we could just find our own voice along the way. And that's, but this is all to say that it makes exercises like this easier, the minor 7 arpeggio, which make these exercises easier. So like the 2-5-1s, if you wanted to arpeggiate like Mr. Pass, late great Mr. Joe Pass would do a lot of this kind of stuff, where just arpeggiate 2-5-1s. To the E minor 7, the E minor 7, and then the A, and then D major 7 or major 6. Right, so that's sort of where we're heading. We're heading to put all of these, suture all of these things together. So what I'm trying to do is lay solid foundations without, I'm trying to mitigate introducing gaps in knowledge, at least in my technical awareness. I mean, if you ask me anything, I mean, I've got gaps in knowledge everywhere, but I want to try to filter those out, remove those from my musical experience, and when I'm trying to make a joyful noise in an improvisatory nature in real time. So that's one of the things, you know, also another goal that I have is to, you know, win Winfield, right? So obviously I want to just go smoke that thing down and just get my flat picking, my game just like dialed in, like surgically dialed in. And then I've got a, you know, stuff. I'm just looking for that. I appreciate you, 𝗖𝗵𝗁. The answer was a little bit lengthy, but I appreciate you hanging out. Just got me a Martin D10 𝗖𝗵𝗁, and it sounds and plays amazing. Well, Peyton, Mr. Cole, congratulations. Congratulations. Anytime a new guitar, a new instrument can really propel us to move in a new direction, or at least stay moving. And so those new things are very exciting, right? Are very exciting. And congratulations. Also learned Dust in a Baggie and trying to learn Tony Rice song or two. Oh, there you go. Jimmy Norris Jr., good morning. Good morning, kind people. Yeah. What do you think about Jackson guitars? Oh, I love them all. For sure, a big upgrade from the Yamaha FG. I love Yamaha guitars, man. All right, let's take a look at these arpeggios. You have a few more minutes, Kevin, or are we wrapping it up? I just want to make sure I'm not starting something new if you're going to jump. I want to try to start keeping these things dialed in so we're not just going willy-nilly and we start to lose and deteriorate into just kind of dilly-dally at the end. Few minutes? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at that minor 7 arpeggio. In order to play my own musical ideas, I realized I need better technique. Oh, yeah. I'm with you, man. Amen, brother. I was like, pray for wisdom every day, dude. I pray for. It's like one of the things I pray for. But it's a language beyond the language. It's the language. It's definitely a universal thing. We're looking at position number 1, right? B minor 7, and we're going to call the tuning close enough for jazz. We're not going to go back through 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, and 1. And then, yeah, you know what happens, Raul, Mr. Werner, is gosh, let me finish this. And then 3, 2, 1. All right, so we have, I'll give you the pick here, although you could pick up here if you wanted the tone. 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 1. And then 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. But where we would go up to the 1, we're going to slide up 1/2 step, call it the flat 7 of the new descending pattern, 5, flat 3, 1, flat 7, 5, flat 3, 1. So it's exactly the same. It's that same shape, but we're ascending the shape, descending, sliding up 1 position, ascending 1 position, descending the same shape. And we've got all 4 fingers working on this arpeggio, so it's a wonderful way to extend your warm-up into a tonal area. And so we start to bridge the gap from what we've been doing with the abstraction of chromaticism, or the quasi-chromatic approaches, the basically fingerprinting, and we're starting to reapproach and readdress, tonic centers now. But we're still using these in a parallel, we're shifting these in parallel form. So I would call this parallel planing. I would be planing these things. And I'm just going to talk like we've been saying these things for a lifetime together. And eventually, if they're new words to you, they'll just come. And if they're not new words to you, then, awesome. In order to play my own, I wanted to talk a little bit about my technique sucks. Like, well done, sir. I appreciate that, Mr. Emmanuel. I appreciate that. The, we all shoot for that perfection. When we shoot for the golden arches, like that perfection, the reality is that as humans, we'll likely never reach really what our mind comprehends. Let's put it this way. All right, let's get this pattern going, and I'll discuss this hopefully while I'm doing this. So 1 and 2, and you know what to do. We all know there's a thing called the perfect triangle. I know there's a thing called the perfect triangle because I've thought of it. I can conceive that every angle, every segment is exactly the same, is precisely exactly the same. I know it's there, and it's always been there. It'll always be there. The idea of the perfect triangle. But as soon as I try to make a perfect triangle, no matter how high-tech my human instruments are, I will never, there will always, I can always like zoom in a little bit more, and that length of that chord or that segment or that line or that angle it's always going to be, it will never be perfect. And that's the only way I can think of like how I feel about my own guitar technique. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what am I even doing playing the guitar? Like, I mean, there are 8-year-olds who will like blast circles around me. I mean, it's like, and then I realize like, oh yeah, that's right. Here's my answer. Like, my answer is, it's in a song, and I forget who wrote the song. Maybe one of you can help me out with this, but it's like one of my favorite songs, like jazz standards, which we use as a vehicle now. We learn the melody, we learn the harmony, we learn it in every key. We learn it in the key of L, and because hopefully it won't sound like L, but we learn these songs, these vehicles in every key so that we can play it with whatever band we might need to play it. This favorite song, like it just rings a bell every time. It's called There Will Never Be Another You. And maybe you've played the song, but it's a really well-known jazz standard. And who wrote that? That's why I play the guitar. There will never be another me, right? I mean, for better or worse, it is what it is. And I have my own road to my own path to choose around every corner. All right, so let's take a look at major 7 arpeggio. 1, 4, 5, 1. All right, 1, 4, 5. But let's take a look at fingers now. 1, 4, 2, 1, 2. Or chord tones. 1, 3, 5, 7. 1, 3, 5, 7. And then up. 7, 3, 5, 7, 5, 3, 1, 7, 5, 3, 1, and then we ascend the next position up and then descend that pattern. Okay, so let's just run through that exercise. Elon, man, my internet wasn't working. I just had my dinner and I didn't listen to your answer about your short-term goal when you were 20. Oh, man, so I'll go ahead and repost it, but basically the idea was my short-term goal when I was 20 was not to program computers. I was sort of like loosely aware that that was a future for me, but was not focused. I was really focusing on getting my stuff together on the guitar, programming my fingers and my body mechanically so that I could travel the world and represent as a guitar player, sort of like approaching the state of the art. Right, and it's one of those things that I still want to do today. I still want to reach the state of the peak of my craft, and so that peak. The fortunate thing for us is the guitar is like the perfect freedom, and we can continue to develop and hone the guitars, the instrument for a lifetime. So that's partially what my goal was then and is today. So let's take a look at that major 7. Thanks for asking that again. So let's take a look at that major 7. Ready? It's going to look like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You'll notice that there's no finger 3 in this one, so it's not as great for me to use as that minor pentatonic. But we're moving away from the the chromatic episode now. Okay, so we're back into approaching diatonicism, but we're planing the shape up through over across the fretboard, parallel planing. If we were planing this through the diatonic B flat major scale, it would be somewhat different, right? Because the major scale would be the first one, and then minor 7, then minor 7 again, and then major 7. and then we'd have the dominant 7. But what we're going to do is we're just working on major 7, parallel playing. Ready? 1 and 2, and you know what to do. Hey Kevin, we'll see you tomorrow, man. We're going to wrap it right up here anyway. So God bless you and your 96-year-old father, and have a wonderful day and enjoy the devotion. And we'll be thinking of you, and we'll see you again tomorrow, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Jeffrey. Mr. Boyle. And then back down. We'll descend. Hello. Hello, Richard Booker Greco. Can play on electric guitar. Yeah, the electric guitar is definitely, it's the same instrument. It's a 6-stringed instrument, but it's tuned differently. I mean, it can be tuned the same. They're both tuned to standard tuning, and they're slightly different instruments, and they have different intentions, so we might practice them differently. Yeah, I would do the same exercises on them, but I know I'll have 9 gauge strings on here. I'll put 9s on this bad boy, and then I'll put 12s on this bad boy, and then that right there causes me to change the way I approach the guitar. So 1 and 2, and let's do the dominant 7 here. 1 flat, it's 1 3 5 flat 7 1 flat 1 3 5 flat 7 1 1 3 5 flat 7, and then slide up and descend that. All right, dominant 7, here we go. 1 and 2, and you know what to do. Which country you traveled to since, and then are you planning to visit? Oh yeah, I just want to see, there's so much world to see, it's what, my goal is to be a lifetime traveler, isn't it? And then take notes for songwriting and harmonically wherever we go, right? Yeah, good question. I think he went travel to Asia, maybe Thailand. That's a fun idea. 1 and 2 and T. Oh, let's try minor 7 flat 5. We'll start this on position number 2. 1, it's going to look like this. 1 flat 3 flat 5 flat 7. 1 flat 3 flat 5 flat 7. You can join with me if you'd like. 1 and 2 and T and bo and. As we progress through the week, tomorrow we'll start with 4 attacks per beat, so we'll cover more ground in tomorrow's session. So we'll be here once again tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and again at that same time throughout the week. And after this week, we'll continue through every 5 days every week for the remainder of 2025. And I don't know if you're still hanging out here We've been talking a little bit about national parks and state parks here in the United States, and wishing to visit those parks and write songs about those parks. And the first person to do that on this channel, first guitar friend to do that, is a member of this channel and a member of this live stream, and his name is Mr. Anthony Tortorello. So if you haven't checked out his video yet about his practicing this song that he's written, relearning it, reworking the song, you can go over to my YouTube community page and just take a look at that post, and you'll see a guy playing his guitar. That's Mr. Tortorello, and there's a link there where you can follow to watch his video, and it'll give you a pretty good idea about where we're heading. And we're just still very new to this whole sequence. So you're just starting to witness some of the potential that we're unlocking here. And this is going to be a wonderful year, and it will be a very productive year, okay? I can't use my left hand to play, I use my right hand. So are you just tapping your way through? Do you do exercises like that? Do you get your left hand tuned up by just using hammer-ons? Is that where you're... my name is Hassam from Iraq. Good morning. Yeah, Anthony, right on. Can you do story time about your life while playing guitar simultaneously? We would love to listen. Story time about my life. That's a good question. Yeah, I'm not sure what that story would be. Yeah, I woke up in the morning. I grabbed my guitar. My guitar and I played it so hard, but I learned that playing till my fingers bleed isn't necessarily where I want to be. I want to have better technique than that, then I won't share that with others. Come hell or high waters, yeah, I like to play the guitar in the morning. That's pretty much my life story, and maybe it's yours too. Sometimes I feel like I'm floating around and I can't help but come back to the guitar. it's just, I don't know, fun stuff, idiotic stuff. But there's not much story there. I think, you know, I woke up one day and I thought, hey, maybe I should contribute to the world I live in. And then, you know, we make decisions on how we contribute. But most of those decisions, for me, are prayed for. You know, you got to pray for that wisdom. You know, if you don't pray for that wisdom, that's fine. But you can learn how to do that, pray for wisdom. There's a lot going on with the guitar, and you know, finding your own story is definitely in the way of music. Like if I was going to, you know, I want to be so fluent in the language, I guess, to kind of jump back to, and we're kind of done with our warm-up. So if you need to jump and get moving, be comfortable to do that, and don't let me keep you, and don't let me hold you, because you've got important stuff to do today, and I don't want to teach you to I don't want to be the one to tell you to squander your time. All right, I don't want to be the one to teach you that. Do you do story time? Nice playing. Thank you very kindly. Thank you. Sorry, man, I play with my right hand and swear with my left hand. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I tried a lot to be like you guitar players who play with your left hand and hold the neck with your right. Oh, okay. So, yeah. That's why I don't say right hand and left hand anymore. I say pick hand and fret hand, right? So, I've had a bunch of lefty students over the years. So, I would encourage you to do what works for you. I mean, don't, you know, so the language I'm using, it doesn't matter if you're, you know, right-handed or left-handed guitar player, it's the same language. I've just kind of developed that skill over the years to just adapt what I'm saying, try to adapt what I'm saying, so that irregardless of if you're playing the guitar in your lap, you know, like Jeff Healey used to, you know, did, or whatever, if you're playing righty or lefty, it doesn't matter. So it's all the same. It's all good. We're coming up to the wrap here, but let's just take a look. 𝗖𝗵𝗿𝗂𝗧𝗵𝗲, hey, good morning. Hey, how are you doing today? Good to see you again. I hope you're still playing the guitar. Did you join with your guitar today, and did you play along with us? Nice, can play jazz. Jazz is just one of those things, you know, but if you can do story time about your adult life, adventure, first love, or memorable thing about your life. By the way, this was nice. Let's take a look. Let's take a quick look at the, what if I was, you know, what if I'm Brazilian? I need to obviously listen to some more Brazilian music. But I can hear the waves washing up. And I also don't need to pick to kind of keep time. I don't need to keep doing that because I know how to count. So I'm doing a rhythmic pattern, which is this A6. you can use these unexpected things too in your melodic and choral treatments too. I know that I'm planing my way back to the A major something, right? So I know if I start with, you know, the flatted 3, you know, I can kind of get that E major triad on top of an A bass note, which makes an A major 9 shape, right? So you can really create these nice unexpected passages, which is, you know, similar to what, you know, how Mr. Joe Pass did things, you know, like he'd create these like planing opportunities, similar to how, you know, American blues works. You know, you can hear that, you know, descending. You can descend from the 5 to the 4, sharp 4 to the 4, and then, or 5 to the flat 5 to the 4. I'm going to play all the way back down to the 1. You know, and or we could play with these really unusual sounds that lead the ear to a place of comfort. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot to unpack here. But I think that's about it for today, unless you have any other questions. And I appreciate I assume that's a compliment. You know, cool comes from a place in jazz history where, you know, you knock on the door and someone isn't, and Miles Flat says, "Who is it?" And you're like, "Hey, it's Jason." And Miles is like, "Hey, yeah." Oh, so Dave goes over to Miles and says, "Hey, can Jason come in?" And Miles is like, "Is he cool? Is he cool?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course he's cool. Yeah, let him in." So cool means a different thing to me than some. It might mean, I think that that's a cool thing to be called cool. I appreciate that. I think I have to flip the strings in order for playing to be correct, because I flip the guitar, and as you know, it's designed to hold the neck in the right hand and play with the left. Oh, yeah, like the Jimi Hendrix thing, right? Hey, all 37 viewers can like why. Hey, all 37 viewers make like why only 17 likes. Oh yeah. We could get it up to 20. Oh, we're up to 20 likes, so that's great. That's usually our benchmark. If we can get to 20 likes, we're here. That's wonderful. I'm not really here soliciting. I think having the likes might supply my video stream to more people, but I'm really only here for one reason, right? And it's this particular live stream is specifically designed to bettering myself as a person, to better it, number one, and then be observant of the big guy upstairs, excuse me, and then the higher power, and then to better myself as a person, better myself as a guitarist, as a family member, as a community member, and basically to service the world at large in a good way. That, you know, so maybe I was called to do this. You know, you never know. Who knows why we're doing this? But I am here because I made a plan that I need to follow for 2025, and it did not include this to begin with. But now I'm here because I was going to be here anyway in the morning, and I thought, you know what? If I'm going to be here warming up for an hour every morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 days a week for the entire year of 2025, I'm sure that there are other guitar players in the world. I know there are other guitar players like me, because if I'm thinking this way, I know I'm not the only one. So I thought, why don't I just make a live stream? I'm going to be here doing seat time anyway. And then together we can take a look at the very first video that we made in this live stream. And 1 year from now, at the end of 2025, we'll take a look at that video, and we're going to take a look at, you know, it's about 150 hours, 175 hours or so, maybe 200 hours, because we're running way over most of the time. And we're going to compare the technique in the first video with the technique in the last video, and we're going to do a deep dive and literally assess what kind of gains were made physically, mentally, spiritually. What did we observe as a gain? We're going to make a comprehensive list to the best of our abilities. What did we gain over the span of 1 year just sitting with the guitar? Okay, that's all I'm doing. This is just part of a thing that I want to do for myself so that I can literally see the benefit. I have a friend, Mike 𝗕𝗿𝗁. Mr. 𝗕𝗿𝗁 is a wonderful, a speed metal, like a really skilled, highly skilled metal player, like highly skilled. We were talking a few months ago when he was doing some recording here, and for his next record, and we were talking about his practice routine, and discovered that I got on the horn with a friend at the station manager from MIT's radio station, and I said, "Hey, listen, I won't name him, but I said, my friend's been playing 16th note triplets, at 120 or whatever it is on the metronome for a decade, and he's done it for this many hours a day." And I did the math. It was like he's played over 1 billion notes. So yeah, I mean, I want to be able to, if like I don't spend, here's one thing that I'm also happy to share with you, because I like to make money. I realize that you can't change the world unless you can keep the lights on. So number one, the super chats are super helpful here, but I'm not a trained monkey. I don't dance around for your that's not why I'm here. I'm not going to dance around. I'm not going to be your monkey. So that's one thing. That's not the reason why I'm here. This is going to be free all year long. But if you do feel compelled to support the channel in that way, like several others have, I definitely appreciate it and will graciously accept whatever you can afford to ship via super chat or super sticker or whatever. So if it's in your capability to do that, we love to feel that kind of love as well. But I'm just planning on being here for the year with like-minded people who want to better themselves, and that's that simple. It's really that simple. So I'm not really shopping for the likes. If you see that we're not getting likes, then you can help me by saying what things that you did in the like department in the live chat. So definitely appreciate you mentioning those things. Freebird, you know what? I watch some American show like WWE and some Hollywood Marvel movies. Do you follow that? I do follow that. I'm aware of it. I'm not sure I follow it, but I'm aware of it, yes. And I'm always amazed with the amount of skill that is required to produce. Hey, B, he's back. B is back. Mr. Beck is back. And if you haven't checked out his channel, Mr. B is doing some really great stuff. Anthony Tortorello is another one doing some really great stuff. And I'm not aware, if you're doing some great stuff on your YouTube channel, please let me know. Please let me know, and I really appreciate it. And here in Iraq, it's 5:40 p.m. Okay, got you. Okay. Dance those fingers on the guitar. Ryan, good point. Mr. Zappa always said, shut up and play your guitar. Do you have lap steel? I play lap steel. I have 𝗕𝗿𝗁𝗁. I have a few other things. Do you play those as well? Thank you for the nice playing. Hotel California. If you look at my channel right here on YouTube, you can see that I've done a few lessons, like free guitar lessons that cover Hotel California. So I would love it if you'd check out Jason Carey Guitar right here on YouTube, and just go check it out and search for the Hotel California, where you can get some free tablature, and it's just super. It's all free. And you can go check that out there. Please let me know in the comments of that video if you do check it out. Stairway to Heaven, have also done like a full tutorial of Stairway to Heaven's intro. You might like it. You're gonna love it. So you can do the same thing on my channel here and go check that out. BB King, I don't know if I've done any like The Thrill Is Gone, Dance with Those Fingers. Yes, right on. Back again, B. I really appreciate that, mate. I really do appreciate that. And did I click love on that? Maybe I'm just gonna give you a couple of loves over here. That's me flooding the system with love right there. And let's see. Stairway to Heaven in Iraq, Greco, nice, but very cold. Is it cold? Yeah. What's the ambient temperature? Well, I guess when you say very cold, that's pretty much all I need to know. I understand very cold. We like to get out there in the mountains and the alpine zones with equipment and film at 20, 30, 40 below zero. So we have a lot of cold weather gear. Ice axes, crampons, general mountaineering stuff, and then we just kind of like to get out there. And I actually have a bag, one of my backpacks, with my camera bags, F35 or whatever it is. It's from Mr. 𝗕𝗿𝗁, he does the TV shows for like Bear Grylls, like he's the director of photography in the world's greatest race, like the Fiji races, and those kinds of things. So he's out there. And he's an Emmy award-winning cinematographer, so he's an old friend, and I use some of his gear that he's kind of retired from the Everest trips and stuff. So. Ryan, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Ryan, I appreciate that, man. I really do. Like every little bit helps, and it's just when people spend, where I was going with that is like, I don't spend any money unless I know it's going to make me money back or improve my life somehow. I don't like, I gave up being a consumer of the thing a long time ago for some reason, and I've realized like instant gratification was, it's really easy to live beyond my means. So when I see someone spending their hard-earned, I know money is hard-earned for many, right? When I see other guitarists who are enthused enough to share their hard-earned income with me, I just am so grateful and so thankful, just so you know. All right. So here's... let's see. Anytime. I appreciate you putting music out into this world. Music is our hidden sixth sense. I heard there was a Secret Chord is a great book to check out. Oh yeah, all right. If you're into that kind of stuff, like there's a 𝗖𝗵𝗿𝗁 wrote another book called The World is Sound. It's 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗁. The World is Sound, where I think you would, if you haven't read it yet, you might probably. Some are more well read than I am, but if you haven't seen it yet, haven't read it, you might enjoy it. 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗁, and because I am new, I wanted to let you know that I'm serious about being here. We're making every attempt, and again, now I'm keeping you way over, so I've got to jump because I don't want you to get used to just kind of misspending your time. If you're here to learn the guitar, then we go through the morning warm-up. What we do every morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go ahead while I'm telling you this. If you don't mind, just give me a like. Just click like on the video, and it will help us. You can help the channel simply by doing that, and we're grateful. Every morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're here doing 5 days a week. I mean, breath work, tuning up, and some sort of mechanical warm-up routine, right? And then this will evolve as we proceed through the year. Tomorrow we are going to start with either 2 or 4. There will be a choice that we can make tomorrow morning to start with either 2 or 4 attacks per beat. We're always going to use 60 beats per minute for this live stream. Always using 60 beats per minute because it's like walking down the street, you know. I'm just walking leisurely down any downtown that's or well lighted, you know, beautiful sunny day. I'm feeling good. I'm really appreciating life, loving it. 60 beats per minute is just what I'm used to. It's that tempo that is going to work. So hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow if you want to, if you would like to. If you can't make it, if you'd like to join, we're always going to republish these videos in case there was something that you wanted to revisit in the span of that video. Other than that, there's, you know, we'll be here again tomorrow. Okay. World sound. I'm getting it now. World of sound. Yeah. It's 𝗕𝗿𝗵𝗁. It's called The World Is Sound. And it's a wonderful, wonderful experience to check out. He talks to all of those people who are top of their siloed careers, you know, those interdisciplinary mathematicians, physicists, nuclear engineers, you know, scientists and psychologists and everyone. And he talks about how the world is actually sound. And you'll love it, you know. Over the hills and far away. All right, just because you're B. All right, you ready? This is me getting ready to sign off for the morning and encourage you to have a wonderful day. So hopefully that is sufficient. Just there's no end to how much fun we can have. Maybe what I'll do is start recording some, you know, records like that. I don't know how much you listen to 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝘁, but 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝘁 is an old favorite guitar player of mine, 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗁 from the 𝗕𝗿 some friends of mine in that band, and and you can check those guys out on the internet anywhere you know resource your music. All right, so I'm gonna jump over in TikTok for better or worse and kind of finish up my morning, but I've got to let you go, and I will see you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, and what we're going to do is just rock it until we can't rock it anymore. So some churchy type strumming and picking between chords, please. Oh, you just made it, dude. You just made it. All right. Final request. Hey, never mind. No, you're okay. Are you serious or are you fooling around? Never mind, like the Nirvana Never Mind. All right, so we got that, you know, C. So I'm not sure, you know, a lot of what happens in when you're using hymns is G's, you know, the C's and then the D's. Without sound, there is no light. Sound was first, I've learned lately. So first there was the word, right? Yeah, that's right. And the word is vibration, and that's exactly the way the book starts, but then that's exactly the way, or a book starts, that's exactly the way 𝗕𝗿𝗵𝗁 starts. So the world is sound, and then that vibration was the beginning. So yeah, there's a lot to contemplate there. It's just so much goodness to be had. Before I get off track, I am on the way out the door, but if you're playing in church, you're thinking, you know, this open position chords, I have an open position chord book that you can get on like iBookstore or whatever if you want. It's free. I think it's free. I'm not sure. But Jason Carey, open position chords or something like that. You can find it still. I think it might still be there. Open position chords. Check those out. Learn all of those chords. C, like D, G, A minor is another churchy one. F. You know, some people play this. Some people play this. Another thing to do when you're working between those chords is, and then working up from one chord and then leading down to another chord. So thank you for asking that question, and I'll try to do a better job producing a video for those of us who like to play that kind of music in a praise environment. Okay, so thank you very much for asking about that. And if you're not a subscriber already to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I would thank you to subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you again tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Brian, how can I support Mr. Jason? Where do I put the money and how? Oh, you can put it, there's a super chat, and if you're in the live chat, there's a little thing where you would enter, there's a little $sign. I think that's how that works. You're a beginner in a church band? Okay, all right. So if you're already doing it, so how many chords do you know? Do you know all of the open position chords? All right, B, we'll see you later, man. You travel well. Catch me again tomorrow, guys. I've got to jump and get on with this. I really apologize, but I'm going to jump. And if you don't mind, meet me again tomorrow. And I will see you then. And if until we meet again, happy picking, friends. All right. Thank you so much.